Are you ready to take on the challenge of Nioh 2? Look no further than this ultimate beginner's guide. In this video, I'll take you through everything you need to know to get started in this fast-paced, action-packed game. From mastering the combat mechanics to uncovering hidden secrets and tips, I've got you covered. Whether you're a seasoned gamer or new to the genre, you won't want to miss this comprehensive guide to Nioh 2. So grab your sword, sharpen your skills, and let's jump in to this epic journey. First, let's take a look at your heads-up display and gauges. There's a lot going on here, and at first glance it can be a bit confusing, so let's break it down. In the top left corner you've got 3 bars. The blue bar, which is your health, the green bar, which is your ki/stamina, and the purple bar, which is your anima/yokai abilities. You can regain your health by using elixirs, which are basically healing potions. Actions such as attacking, blocking, dodging, and sprinting consume ki, and running out of it can leave you vulnerable. Fortunately, ki replenishes automatically, and the speed at which it refills depends on your stats, particularly your courage. Running out of ki can leave you defenseless against enemy attacks and can often lead to your doom. When your ki gauge is depleted, you'll become temporarily stunned and unable to perform any actions such as attacking, dodging, or blocking. Anima is your yokai ability meter. You'll drain this gauge anytime that you burst counter or use a yokai ability. Anima refills a little bit every time that you land a melee attack. To the left of these 3 gauges, you'll see some hexagonal icons representing your yokai abilities. The tiny number next to the icon is how much anima each yokai ability costs, which is also shown on the bottom right as purple rectangles. On the bottom left of each icon there are slashes indicating how many times you can use that ability before your anima runs out. If memory serves, by default it does not display the numbers on these gauges, so to turn them on, go to your system menu, then basic game settings, then turn on display values on the life gauge, and so on. Next to that is a circular icon representing your guardian spirit. This gauge is called the Amrita gauge, and it fills any time that you collect Amrita. Amrita is experience points that you auto collect for doing pretty much anything in the game, such as completing missions, defeating enemies, opening chests, and it can even be collected by destroying crates and jars found throughout the missions. When it reaches 100% and the icon is glowing up, you can perform a Yokai Shift, which is kind of like a Devil May Cry devil transformation. After a Yokai Shift, there is a cooldown timer that fills counterclockwise. After that cooldown, you can start refilling this gauge up again. The symbol to the lower right of your Guardian Spirit icon represents your Guardian Spirit type. Brute is red, Feral is blue, and Phantom is purple. If you're wondering what some of these things mean, like Yokai Shift and Yokai Abilities, don't worry, I gotcha. We'll be covering those a little bit later in this video. Below the 3 bars is an area for status effects. Effects are temporary beneficial buffs like HP regen or attack increases. These buffs are shown in blue and will be pointing upwards, and you also have debuffs like if you get poisoned. These are shown in red and will be pointing downwards. Each of the badges that appear here are timers that will drain until the effect is no longer active. You've got item shortcuts in the bottom left, minimap in the top right, gold and Amrita in the bottom right. You'll need gold for buying equipment and upgrades at the Blacksmith, and Amrita is experience points that you'll need for leveling up. Your combat stance is shown just above the gold and Amrita section. Now, I know that's quite a lot of heads up info to take in, but trust me, as you dive deeper into Nioh 2, knowing this stuff in the heat of battle can be the difference between a victory and a loss. You can switch between 3 different combat stances, high, medium, and low at any time. You change your stance by holding down R1 or RB and then pressing the relevant button. High stance is focused on dealing heavy damage at the expense of higher ki consumption. This stance is ideal for situations where you need to be aggressive and deal as much damage as possible quickly. Mid stance is a balanced stance that offers a mix of offensive and defensive capabilities, including parries and other defensive maneuvers. Attacks from this stance are often wide and horizontal, making it useful for controlling crowds of enemies. Low stance is the fastest and most nimble stance, allowing for quick and agile movement while consuming less ki. This stance is ideal for dealing with fast and agile enemies and can be useful for inflicting status ailments on them. By mastering all 3 stances and switching between them as needed, you'll be able to effectively deal with the different types of enemies and situations. You You can use a ki pulse to regain some of your lost stamina. After most of your attacks, you should see a blue aura hovering around your character. This is a visual hint to show you that you can use a ki pulse. Tap R1 if you're on PlayStation or RB if you're using an Xbox controller plugged into your PC to get the ki pulse and regain some of your lost stamina. If you don't ki pulse after attacking, then it will take you longer for you to recover your ki/stamina, and you'll find yourself running out of stamina quite quickly. You'll see the blue aura build upwards from the floor towards the center of your character, and then sparkles will surround your character. When these sparkles surround you, this is the height of the ki pulse. You'll regain more ki if you time your ki pulse at the height of the pulse. You can still regain some lost ki if you press your pulse a bit prematurely, but it won't recover quite as much. Another technique available to us is the burst counter. To perform this move, we need to hold R2 and then press circle, or RT and then press B if you're using an Xbox controller. This move is used to counter burst attacks executed by enemies, which are indicated by a red glow. Burst counters not only halt the attack, but also inflict significant ki damage on the enemy, providing us with a short window to retaliate. Keep in mind that this move consumes anima, so it's crucial to have enough anima in reserve in case you need to use it. When defeating enemy yokai and yokai bosses, they may drop soul cores, which can be equipped at the shrine to gain access to yokai abilities. Equipped soul cores can make you stronger as they provide passive bonuses to your character, such as extra hit points or faster stamina regeneration. You can also perform a soul fusion by combining two of the same soul cores to make one of them more powerful at the cost of the other. This is a great way to increase the effectiveness of your soul cores and the bonuses that they provide. As you progress through the game, you'll get access to Yokai Abilities, which are powerful abilities that can be used in combat. You would get these abilities by equipping soul cores at the shrine. The Yokai Abilities can be activated by holding R2 and then pressing triangle, square or X, or holding down RT and then pressing Y, X or A for Xbox controllers. They will drain your anima when used, which is the purple bar beneath your ki. There are lots of Yokai Abilities to choose from and they can really give you the edge in combat, but they come at a cost. Make sure to use them wisely and only when you really need them.
You may be a demon that slays its own kin, but the soul within you is unmistakably human.
The Yokai Shift is a powerful transformation mechanic that allows you to channel your inner yokai and unleash devastating attacks. Activate a Yokai Shift by pressing triangle and circle at the same time, or Y and B at the same time if you're using an Xbox controller, when your Amrita gauge is full, which is the rounded icon up the top left. There are three types of Yokai Shift forms: Brute, Feral and Phantom. Each form has different abilities, burst counters, strengths and weaknesses. The Feral form is very agile. For its burst counter, you can dodge in any direction that you tilt towards, and if you connect with the enemy's burst attack, then you'll counter them. You can also use this burst counter as an extra dodge. The Phantom form has access to ranged attacks. Its burst counter is a parry, and it requires very strict timing. It must be used at the exact right second to counter the burst attack. The Brute form focuses on offense. When burst countering, you get hyper armor and take less damage even if you mistime it, so it's a bit more forgiving than the other forms in that sense. If you time it right, then you'll get the counter and you'll take no damage at all. Have a play around with the three different Guardian Spirit types and see which one works best for you. You can always change them at a shrine as you unlock more soul cores as you play through. Shrines are basically checkpoints where you can rest and replenish your health and ki. You can also use shrines to level up, summon visitors for co-op play, and a bunch of other useful things. They're kinda like bonfires from Dark Souls. One thing that you might not know is that you can actually pause the game completely. To do this, open the menu and then press the options/the pause button. This will pause the game, allowing you to take a break without worrying about being attacked or defeated while you're away, whether you need to use the bathroom or refill your cup of coffee. As you progress through the game, you'll acquire materials and items that can be used to forge new weapons and armor at the Blacksmith. These items can be found in the game world or obtained as rewards for completing missions. Make sure to take advantage of this feature to improve your character's gear. The gear that you use can be the difference between life and death, so don't let your equipment fall behind as you play through. Nioh 2 has a vast world to explore, filled with a variety of main missions, side missions, and other activities to complete. Take the time to explore these areas and complete side missions to earn extra rewards and gain valuable experience. If you find yourself massively stuck on a main mission, then perhaps check out some side missions for a bit before coming back to the main mission. A useful tip to keep in mind is to approach the game with caution and avoid aggroing too many enemies at once. Many challenging areas of the game are swarming with enemies, making it difficult to face all of them at the same time. To prevent being surrounded, consider using rocks, arrows, shuriken, and kunai to lure and eliminate enemies one at a time. Headshots are often a one-shot kill and can help conserve resources. If you're struggling, try a stealthier approach. It's worth noting that the sneak attack skill in the ninja skill tree is necessary to perform backstabs. This skill is located at the bottom of the tree and can be obtained early in the game, so be sure to invest in it. If you tilt the left thumbstick slightly, it will allow you to walk, and by doing this, it will be a lot easier to sneak up on enemies. If you're overwhelmed by enemies or facing a particularly tough enemy, it's okay to retreat and regroup. You can use the environment to your advantage by putting obstacles between you and your enemies, or by leading them into traps. It's better to retreat and regroup and continue fighting than to get wrecked and have to respawn at a checkpoint and have to refight all of those enemies again. Ninjutsu and Onmyo Magic are two of the most versatile and powerful tools in Nioh 2. However, some players miss out on the full potential of these tools due to a lack of familiarity with how to easily gain skill points in them. As a result, they may not invest in these skills enough to fully utilize them. At the start of the game, you won't have any skill points in Ninjutsu or Onmyo Magic. To gain these skill points, you'll need to use the relevant items like throwing bombs at enemies for Ninjutsu, or applying a magic amulet to your weapon and attacking enemies with it for Onmyo Magic. After using these items for a while, you should gain a skill point or two in the relevant skill tree. These items can be looted from corpses around the maps, so keep an eye out for them and equip them, then use them. Once you earn your first skill point, you can spend it within that skill tree to unlock Ninjutsu or Onmyo Magic abilities. You can then ready Jutsu at a shrine to equip those abilities, which will now make it a lot easier to keep gaining skill points in them, as you can just keep using them and then gaining further points. The more you hit enemies with them, the more quickly you'll gain the skill points. Additionally, you can use Ninja's Locks or Onmyo Mage's Locks to gain one skill point, but these are quite rare and you won't find that many of them. And you can sometimes buy magic amulets at the shrine. After progressing through the main missions of the game, you'll gain access to the Blacksmith, who can offer you the Book of Reincarnation for 10,000 gold. This item, once used, will return your skill points and Amrita used to level up, allowing you to reallocate them according to your needs. If you made a mistake with your stats early on, don't worry, as it won't take you long to unlock the Blacksmith. However, keep in mind that the cost of the Book of Reincarnation increases each time you purchase one, so it's best to plan ahead and avoid respecing too frequently, or you might run out of cash. You can choose to reset just one specific skill tree if you want to at the dojo. For example, if you just want to reallocate the Onmyo Magic skill points, you can jump into the dojo and then reset that. Just keep in mind that once again, it does cost gold to do this. Nioh 2 can be a challenging game and you may get defeated a lot, especially as you're getting used to the gameplay mechanics. Make sure to take breaks to allow yourself some time to reflect and analyze the challenges that you've been facing. Don't get discouraged, practice makes perfect, and with enough time and effort, you'll eventually overcome even the toughest challenges in the game. If you want to continue your video game training, then check out one of these videos right here. I've covered loads of games such as Elden Ring, Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Nioh 2, Ninja Gaiden, and loads more. Some videos have just popped up right now. Feel free to check them out and give them a click. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.